I remember being a youth pastor, and like we would have these moments where we would get a video game console. Maybe it's for an all-night kind of experience, or just youth group in general. But you got these video game consoles together, and you're putting these games on, like racing games or Super Smash Brothers, or different things like that. Like in a more advanced experience right now, it's like Fortnite, and you have people in these games that like knock you out of the game. Like for instance, Super Smash Brothers. Okay, you have all your lives left, all right, and you're taking it to those in the game. I mean, you're just bringing it. You're knocking people out left and right, and then there's that one person who has one life left, and they come at you, and before you know it, the game is over, and that individual won. I mean, they're like, that's frustrating, right? That's irritating, right? Like you enter your Fortnite experience and somebody just keeps taking you out. Next thing you know, you have thrown a computer, a controller, or whatever, and the TV is smashed, or the computer is destroyed, it's obliterated. And next thing you know, like a digital experience has created an emotional, physical experience. Like people that were your enemies on a video game now become your enemies in real life. People that were a struggle, a difficulty, a challenge in a video game, now the people you hate. You want a test of true character? You want a test of your faith? You want a test of your Christianity? It's not just in how you respond to a video game, it's how you respond to those who are your enemies. Your enemies. Who are your enemies? This is tough. In his Sermon on the Mount, Jesus took it right to the issue. In 6:27-28, he talks about praying for those who hurt you, and loving those who curse you, and wishing well, and blessing those. Man, that's hard. Like, blessing is something that you give to somebody. Blessing is something that you extend to an individual. Like, what are your interactions? What are the relationships that you have? What are you going to do when an enemy confronts you? Like, what are you going to do? Now, I understand that you've got to protect yourself. You've got to find yourself in places where you're not afraid to stand your ground, and things get messy. All right, things get messy. They do. All right, they do. I understand that, okay? Enemies are enemies. I'm not telling you to take it laying down. I'm not telling you to allow yourself to be destroyed or killed. I'm not telling you that loving your enemies requires an immediate life sacrifice. But what I am telling you right now is that your interactions with your enemies is a big indicator of your faith in Jesus. Like, our enemies are all around us. Enemies that we don't even have faces on. Enemies that we have uniforms on. Enemies that we have skin tone on. Enemies that we have in other nations, in other countries. Enemies that we don't even know emotionally, physically. Enemies that we have put our biggest hate and frustration and anger in, and we don't even know the story. We don't even know the full context of the story. Enemies that someone has said, it's their enemy. This person is my enemy because what this person did to me. And before you even meet that person is an enemy to you because they're an enemy to them. But like, are you going to bless those who curse you? Are you going to love those who are your enemies? Like, where do you stand? Where do you stand? Because there are a lot of enemies in our life today. Like, are you going to pray for those who hate you? Are you going to have, when you have opportunities to bless those who like despise you and want to see the worst happen in your life, who want to see your downfall, if you have opportunities where you are a part, something that can happen in their life, like, how are you going to respond? Are you going to be gracious? Are you going to be compassionate? Are you going to be loving and kind? Or are you going to be hateful? Are you going to be disrespectful? Are you going to tear that person down? Are you going to show them the opposite of love? Real talk. You are an enemy of Jesus. You were an enemy of Jesus. You stood staunchly against him by living the way you wanted to. And he accepted you. He loved you. He brought you in. He sacrificed himself. He gave you freedom. He gave you hope. He gave you everything that you would ever need. He gave you everything that you could never in all eternity find, discover, make happen. So, how do you treat your enemies? Do you love them? Do you pray for them? Or do you bring hate against them? That's a test of the true character that you have. Guys, there needs to be a lot more love in a world filled with enemies. In a world filled